Good afternoon to the Daddy Wacky Gold Painting channel. Before we start, a little disclaimer. Since this is a live video and we have no ability to edit, any profanities or suggested things or basically me being myself, apologize ahead of time. All right, thank you. So today we're doing something my kids got me for Father's Day this past year. It's from White Horse Yukon Gold paydirt. These are a custom paydirt. You can put whatever you want in it. Nuggets, fines, flakes, extra black sand, doesn't matter what it is. So that's what they got for me, and they got it for me from Father's Day, but I've been in the hospital for the past 6 months in and out, so didn't get a chance to go through any of it. So first we're gonna go through this and classify it. That's what these are for. Each one is a different gradient. From, I don't know if you can see it, from the wide open mesh to the very fine mesh. And what that does, it'll help separate the larger material from the smaller material. And that's what you want, because what happens is the smaller material gets knocked out by the larger stuff. They can end up in your tailing pile, which is why you always go through your tailings twice. All right, let's get started here. So we get a bowl. Gonna set this in there, because we're gonna rock it back and forth to separate everything. Yep, I'm getting old. All right, this should be a good bag. This is actually a 3-ounce bag. So I think there's probably 10 pounds of soil here. And it's guaranteed 3 ounces minimum of gold. And my kid, like I said, got this custom. So it's got 3 nuggets in it. You can buy nuggets as well as the fines and the pickers. And this way, each nugget represented each of my girls. Corny, but I like it. There we go. Get some in there. Now, the one thing with this stuff here is it's some from the mine, some is inland. Sometimes you get stuff from the ocean. This stuff is definitely not from the ocean, because you can tell you got sticks and twigs and organics in it. So this is gonna be kind of muddy when we go do the painting. If it was from like the Bering Sea, which I do a lot of Alaskan paydirt, that there is pretty clear. There's really not any organics. You got all kinds of fine, small pebbles, which is nice, because you go through it pretty quick. Let's try and sheet this more. I'm going to hand pan this first, and then once I'm done hand panning it, get the gold out that we think we have enough, I will go through and run through the mini cleanup slips. That's why I have this big black pan here. That's what that's for. Man, a lot of organics. Holy cow! More than usual. Now these guys are one of the better paydirt companies that you want to go through, because they have a guaranteed ROI on some paydirts, and other paydirts it tells you exactly what you're going to get. If you come across paydirt that says unsearched, no quantity guaranteed, or guaranteed gold but unsearched, you know what's in there. Pass it by, don't even bother shopping for it. There's a couple really unscrupulous paydirt vendors out there that'll put a few flakes in a 10-pound bag So you found gold, even though it wasn't significant. Now, I'm into the gold panning thing. It's fun. I enjoy it. I've got kidney disease, waiting on a kidney. I'm diabetic. I got a lot of things going against me, so that's something I can do that's fun. Is nice. It's a change. All right. I think that's enough of that one. What? Let's classify this down. Now, if you're wondering where I learned how to do all this stuff, clutch.com is where I started watching first. I obviously would have a lot of sleepless nights, and I couldn't get to sleep, so I'd watch videos. And this guy had his own guitar channel, but also does paydirt. So Clutch Guitar, or just clutch.com. He's a military guy, and he walks you through everything, which is nice. He actually owns his own stretch of, not gold mine, but patch of land on the river where he lives. So a lot of the gold you get from his bags are stuff he's gold panned himself. Plus he buys gold too. So once you're done with all this and you want to sell your gold, there you go. You got a thing you can sell it too. All right. Oh, piece of gold sitting right there on top. Cool. I don't have the ability to move the camera to show you, but if I could, I would. It's too late. Just blow my nose. All right, so now I got everything classified. I'm gonna fill up my snuffer bottle. What this is, it's got a nozzle on one end and a nozzle goes into the bottle on the other end. So that way when you go to snuff up the gold, by squeezing the bottle, go near the gold and then release the bottle, it'll suck the gold in. And that reason that it hangs down in there, so when you go to snuff for the next load, the gold doesn't fly out of the bottle, it stays put. All right, so let's see. Let's get this back in front of me. This water has got jet dry in it. This stuff here, it's a surfactant. So what happens is you get gold pieces so small sometimes, they'll just float away on the water. So this will help it sink and it won't float. Now gold is 19 times heavier than the water or the rocks around it. So you should still get gold in the bottom of your pan. And black sands. Black sands is also almost as heavy as gold. I think it weighs like 16 compared to water. So, all right. I'm going to start with the little one first. This is my favorite pan. Got this from Clutch Gold or clutch.com. So what I want to do, get a little water in there, and I'm going to swirl around. Now, what you're doing when you're swirling around is you're getting the heavies to go to the bottom. The heavies could be gold, which is what you hope, or the heavies could be fine dust, which depending on where you get your paydirt from. There's a lot of it. So if you go up to like Minnesota, Great Lakes, those areas, it's really fine. It's a real pain in the ass too. But if you go like to the Yukon or California, You can still find some nuggets, especially up in the Yukon, Alaska area. So now what I'm doing is I'm swishing, stratifying the gold in the pan. So I'm going back and forth this way, and then back and forth this way. Because you want that gold to go right to the bottom crease down there. And this is definitely an art. So this is why you want to check your tailings at the end of all your runs, because until you get really good at this, you are going to miss a lot. And if you get better at it and you like doing it, invest yourself in a cleanup sluice. Dream Mat sells them. Dream Mat is a vendor that sells the cleanup sluice, it sells the mats. There's a lot of good vendors out there. Dream Mat, Gold Hog, there's other ones too. And there's also other people you can watch to learn from. That's what I did. So like, you know, I didn't learn from Klesh, I learned from Miller Prospecting. Well, I learned from him, I learned from the Gold Wizard. So there's all kinds of stuff out there that will help you educate yourself and you know, have a more enjoyable time. You know, because yes, it's fun to do this and you know, swing a pan back and forth, but you also want to find some gold. Where's my glasses? I brought them out here. Well, the glasses hung over because it's right on my shirt the whole time. Oh, joys of getting older. All right, so swirl this around. I'm gonna go back and forth, stratify it. Now, this is a secret to a lot of gold panning, is you tapping. When you tap like that, it forces the gold right down to the corner crevice. And then we're gonna swish it back and forth. The swishing back and forth is how you separate the black sand from the gold. And look, we got a bunch of gold right there. Now can you put it there so you can see it? If you can see it, that little ridge of gold there, that's from the fine stuff. And that's a start. That's a good start. So I'm gonna take my bottle, some water out, and snuffer it up. Now, when you snuffer this up, obviously, you're gonna have some black sands in there, and that's fine, because later on, we're gonna go through everything, and we'll separate the black sands from the gold. So I don't know where you are. This is for my grandkids mostly, but I know where they are, it's like 70 degrees out. It's 70 degrees here in Florida. It's nice out. It's weird because I'm originally from New England, and my wife and I swear we would never move down here. It was way too hot. Well, here I am in Florida, enjoying myself. Not sweating too much. Pretty comfortable actually. You hear the birds in the background. We got 5. Got a sun conure. We got a couple of green cheeks, and we got a Senegal in the house. So definitely couldn't have those up north. Seeing how they're tropical birds. All right. Oh, it's over there. Thank you. All right, now, when you get a lot of dirt like I have here, you don't put too much in your pan. So I'm gonna put like probably 3/4 cup in there. Because you want to have room for the dirt to get around and emulsify really well. You're gonna stratify it. Love that sound. You hear the roughness of the dirt going around. It means there's gold in there. course, there's gold everywhere, if you ask me. Just gotta know where to find it. In a lot of places where you find it, like the gold panning is usually traditionally done at creeks, but you can also find them at lakes. Like this one guy, the flower wizard, he does the Great Lakes specifically, and they get glacier gold, which is extremely fine, like powder. So when you do like that kind of pay dirt, you definitely need a sluice, because you're not going to see all the gold that you're missing, unfortunately. I tell you, one good channel to tune into, even through Patreon, would be Miller Prospecting. Well, all these guys, but Miller Prospecting especially, he does an ROI thing every day. He puts it out, a chart. It tells you what brands of pay dirt pay out the best. So, you know, usually if you're a hobbyist, anywhere is from 75 to 100% is decent. Myself, I focus on the 100%, 99%. That's what I'm looking for. Wow. There's a lot here. And this is only a third of the bag.
Do you want to show?
Yeah, once I get this over here. I want to get all these in one corner. There we go. The first one was at the finest stratification. This is at the medium stratification. So, this is going to be a good one. Man, I love finding the gold. Another one that's pretty good is Vessi Prospect. I think it's Vessi 88. Is on eBay. A lot of good products. He sells the gold by itself. He also, you can buy the gold in pay dirt, which is cool. Nice guy. You know, I enjoy buying things from him. There's another one of my really good favorites is peeking dough. So peeking like a dough, peeking around a bush, that's what it's called, peeking dough. And she is from Alaska and gets the stuff right from the Bering Sea. She uses a dredge. A dredge is kind of the opposite of this. A dredge is a big, huge machine, and that machine does is you have pretty much a vacuum cleaner hose that you're sucking debris out the bottom of the ocean. And in that debris is all kinds of gold, chunkies, fines, pickers. So it's really good stuff, and not too expensive either. And like I said, this has organics in it. Hers does not. So if you're a beginner, especially, that's probably the one I would go with, just because it's easier to get through. Less chance of you losing gold because there's no dirt to muddle up the water. It's just fine pebbles and some sand, and of course some black sand too. Won't be gold panning without your black sand. Oh, nice. Man, love when the gold pops out like that. Sometimes the gold is so light, a little rock or twig can kick it up. So you'll find yourself Going through these pans really carefully because you don't want to miss anything. A little piece of gold doesn't look that heavy, could weigh quite a bit, and then adds to your tally. And the whole point is to get all the gold, as Clutch would say. There's our second pan. There we go. Thanks. It's like a baby rattle. I love it. Oh no, you don't. Get back here. Got a couple times to see. All right. And don't be afraid of taking your time. It's very important because you don't want to miss anything. All right, now the larger stuff. And this is larger only because there's some rocks and some is just it's like little rock balls.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Like mud balls, so some of that's mud that'll break up once I start stratifying it. I just do a little bit less, just because you want organic taste. So this here is where we should find nuggets. And if I find at least 3 grams and the 3 nuggets, that's a good day. And I still gonna go through the stuff later on and reclassify it and run through the sluice. They might say, well, why are you going through the sluice if you're doing all this? Because the sluice will catch things you won't. You know, the sun hits you the right way, you can't see well. You're old like me. I wear glasses, I don't see that well. So, you know, tons of reasons to use a sluice. And believe me, on the big rigs on the ocean, in Bering Sea, they don't just have sluices. They got backhoes on barges that they use to catch the stuff. So, never estimate using mechanical means to do this. It's a fun show to watch. If you get into this, it's called Bering Sea Gold. That's one of them. The other one's Gold Rush, which is really good. There's a couple gold shows. They're really worth watching. I mean, they're not really as informative as this is, as far as how to do the painting, but it's cool to see the crazy amount of gold these guys get. I mean, there's one guy, Parker Schnabel, doesn't measure his gold in like ounces. It's how many what do they call that? Thermoses he can fill up. I kid you not, full-size thermoses that your mother and father probably took to work is what this kid uses to count his gold. He usually gets 2 or 3 every episode. And then Tony Beats, he's another one. He's the king of the Klondike. That's what they nicknamed him. And he gets, I mean, God, 20, well, 200, 600, 800 ounces of gold at a time, worth a couple $1,000,000. Family run operation. Here's this one so far. Oh, what's up, birds? These are getting pretty big, so I'm gonna put the cap and put these in. That's a good thing though. When the gold gets too big, you can't snuffer it, and you gotta pick it up by hand. That's a good day too. So the ones I'm picking up, those are what we call pickers, because they're too heavy to be sucked up, or they're too wide and won't fit up the nozzle. Sure, you got everything? Yes, I did. Okay. All right, let's do the rest of it. Always important to stratify. You don't stratify, the gold stays on top and doesn't go to the bottom. You can't catch the gold unless it goes to the bottom. What I'm doing here now, this is panning. This is definitely an art form. You try not to release too much material out of the pan, so you hold it at the same level as the handle of the pan. Just dip it in lightly, pull it out. Dip it in, pull it out. And what that does, it moves all the rocks and stuff out of the way, and hopefully you're left with your heavy gold. See, another way to pan for gold, prospect for gold, is mining it. And what they do, they go down and get the quartz, but the gold's locked up in the quartz. What they have to do is they pretty much barbecue the quartz for a couple hours, and the quartz is very brittle. And then what they do is they put the quartz in cold water, and that cold water cracks the quartz open, and now they can go and get the gold out of it. And that's interesting because once you get the gold out of it, you gotta pound the quartz. And once you pound the quartz,
Show it, show it.
it's short, I guess, it's just one. And after you pound the quartz to break free the gold, then you can go and pan it. Now people don't realize that there's not a lot of gold in the quartz. So they'll buy like 30, 40 pounds, like, yeah, I'm gonna be rich. And then at 30, 40 pounds, you might get an ounce gold, and that's it. All right, let's start this all over again. All right, so now I'm gonna clean the water up out of this. I'm gonna do the second half of the bag now. We do got about a half a bag left, so I'll be back in a few minutes.